before the billions, before the brand, before he became a god in sneakers, there was a kid who wasn't good enough. They told him no. They broke his heart. They took everything from him. But what they didn't know was that pain doesn't break legends. It forges them. This is the story of Michael Jordan. Not the hero you know, but the broken man who became him. 6 championships, 5 MVPs, a billion-dollar empire. The name Michael Jordan doesn't just mean basketball, it means perfection. It means unstoppable. It means legend. But behind every trophy, every commercial, every pair of Jordans that flew off the shelves, there's a story the cameras didn't catch. A story of a boy who was told he'd never be great. A son who watched his father murdered in cold blood. A man who lost his mentor, his marriage, and his closest brother on the court. This isn't just about basketball. This is about what happens when someone refuses to let tragedy define them. This is about turning wounds into wins and pain into power. This is the real Michael Jordan story. Wilmington, North Carolina, 1978. A 15-year-old sophomore named Michael Jordan walks into the gym. He's 5'11", skinny, raw. But he's got something burning inside him, a hunger to prove himself. He tries out for the varsity basketball team at Laney High School. He gives it everything. Sweat, heart, soul. The list goes up. His name isn't on it. Cut. Rejected. Not good enough. His best friend, Leroy Smith, made the team. Michael didn't. They told him he was too small, too unpolished. They told him to wait his turn. But here's what they didn't understand about Michael. Jeffrey Jordan rejection wasn't a stop sign. It was fuel. He cried. He went home and cried in his room. But the next morning, he was back in that gym at 6 a.m., shooting, running, training like a man possessed. He made JV, and every single day, he watched varsity practice through the window. Every single day, he imagined himself destroying them. Every shot he took, he whispered one thing: they'll never cut me again. 1 year later, Michael Jordan grew to 6'3". He made varsity. Then he dominated varsity. Then college scouts started showing up. And by senior year, the kid who wasn't good enough was the best player in North Carolina. North Carolina, Dean Smith, national championship. The shot against Georgetown in 1982, the shot that started it all. But even as the crowd roared, even as Michael Jordan became a household name, that rejection lived inside him. That pain, that memory of his name, not on the list, it never left, and it never would. Chicago Bulls, 3rd overall pick. The NBA didn't know what hit them. Scoring titles, MVPs, slam dunk contests. By 1991, Michael Jordan wasn't just a player, he was a phenomenon. And standing courtside at every single game, wearing a Bulls jersey, screaming louder than anyone, was James Jordan. His father, his hero, his best friend. James Jordan was more than a dad. He was Michael's rock, the man who pushed him, believed in him, drove him to every practice as a kid. When Michael needed grounding, he called his father. When he needed truth, his father gave it to him. June 1993. Michael Jordan just won his 3rd straight NBA championship. He's on top of the world. Untouchable. July 23rd, 1993. James Jordan drives home late at night on Highway 74 inches North Carolina. He pulls over to rest at a rest stop. He never makes it home. 2 men rob him, shoot him, leave him in his car. His body isn't found for weeks. Michael Jordan, the man who could do anything on the court, couldn't save his father. The man who never lost the person who mattered most. 3 months later, at 30 years old, at the peak of his powers, Michael Jordan retires from basketball. But it wasn't about proving anything. It was about the pain, the emptiness. Every time he stepped on the court, his father wasn't there. Every time he won, it felt hollow. He tried baseball, his father's dream for him. He wore number 45, his father's number. He played minor league ball in Alabama, riding buses, signing autographs, trying to feel something again. But the court kept calling. March 1995. 2 words that shook the world. I'm back. And when he came back, he didn't just play basketball. He played with rage, with purpose, with a chip on his shoulder the size of the world. 3 more championships, 1996, 97, 98. He won them all for his father. If James Jordan was Michael's blood father, Dean Smith was his basketball father. The legendary North Carolina coach who recruited him, shaped him, taught him not just how to play, but how to think, how to lead, how to win with class. February 2015. Dean Smith passes away at 83 years old. Michael flew to North Carolina immediately. He delivered the eulogy, and for the first time in years, the public saw Michael Jordan cry openly. He called Coach Smith the greatest man I've ever known. He said, "Without him, I wouldn't be who I am." Another father, another goodbye. After 17 years of marriage, Michael Jordan and his wife Juanita file for divorce. The settlement? $168 million. The largest celebrity divorce payout in history at the time. But the money didn't matter. What mattered was the fracture, the failure. Michael Jordan, the man who won everything, couldn't keep his family together. He rarely spoke about it. He buried himself in business, in the Hornets, in golf, in anything that kept him moving forward. Because for Michael Jordan, stopping meant feeling, and feeling meant pain. January 26th, 2020. A helicopter crashes into the hills of Calabasas, California. 9 people die. Among them, Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna. Gone. Kobe wasn't just a fan of Michael Jordan. He was his protege, his little brother, the one who studied every move, every step, every breath, the one who called him at 2 a.m. to talk about footwork. Kobe idolized Michael, and Michael saw himself in Kobe. The obsession, the drive, the refusal to accept anything less than greatness, he cried. In front of the world, the man who never showed weakness broke. Because this wasn't just about basketball. This was about brotherhood, about legacy, about watching someone you loved, someone who carried your torch vanish in an instant. Today, Michael Jordan is 62 years old. He's a billionaire, owner of the Charlotte Hornets until 2023, a husband again married to Yvette Prieto since 2013, a father to 5 children, a grandfather. He doesn't do many interviews anymore. He doesn't chase the spotlight. He plays golf. He smokes cigars. He watches his kids grow up. He's learned something that took him decades to understand. You can't win at everything. Some losses, you just have to carry. But here's the thing about Michael Jordan's story. It's not about the 6 rings. It's not about the billions. It's not even about the shoes. It's about what he did with the pain. Most people let rejection define them. Michael used it to redefine greatness. Most people let grief destroy them. Michael used it to build a legacy. Most people let loss break them. Michael let it sharpen him. He wasn't born great. He was cut from his high school team. He was broken by his father's murder. He was humbled by divorce. He was shattered by Kobe's death. But every single time, he got back up. Because that's what legends do. They don't avoid pain. They walk straight through it. And they come out the other side, stronger, harder, and more determined than ever. Michael Jordan didn't just play basketball. He turned suffering into excellence. He turned heartbreak into championships. He turned rage into rings. And when it was all said and done, he didn't just win, he transcended. So the next time you see a pair of Jordans, remember, you're not just wearing shoes. You're wearing the story of a kid who was told no. You're wearing the grief of a son who lost his father. You're wearing the fire of a man who refused to quit. That's not just a brand. That's not just a logo. That's the legend of Michael Jordan, the man who turned pain into power and proved that the greatest victory is rising after the fall.